Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So it's been a very rough couple of days for our favorite champagne socialist, Hasan Piker. Whether it's on social media or even in the mainstream media, he is getting absolutely pounded from every direction. Now, we know when it comes to Hasan, the thing he wants more than anything in life is to be taken seriously.
Pause. And he got the dress on in the picture too, when you said that? That sounds so crazy. He want to be what?
As a political pundit. Now, he's gotten his wish, but not the way that he expected. With his involvement in the Senate race for Michigan, he has been used as a black eye on anyone connected to him, including the Democratic candidate for this race, who is now being pushed to denounce Hasan, given all of Hasan's heinous comments over the years. And during all this, another absolute banger drop from Hasan Piker. A clip from years ago has resurfaced where he is talking about destroying the white race. Now, in protest of that, to counter the very clear words that he said years ago, he says he is now white.
Yeah. I shouldn't be surprised. I should not be surprised at all. But that sounds so crazy. Wow. Of course, Hasan. Let's start it off with the nasty song. Because that's so insane.
Yeah.
You nasty fam, you nasty. You nasty fam, you nasty. You nasty fam, you nasty. You nasty fam, yeah. You know your name.
Out of pocket.
Yes, Schrodinger's Turk strikes again, ladies and gentlemen. And with all the negative coverage he's getting, Hasan rallied the troop, all of his sycophantic cult members, to go and combat the narratives of the mainstream media, who is evil and doing everything to make him look bad with out of context quotes. And what did Hasan do next after that? Oh, he paid the mainstream media to write another puff piece about him titled, "Why is everyone scared of Hasan Piker?" Well, nobody's scared of Hasan Piker except his dog Kaya. But again, let's get some
in denims and iDubbbz and iDubbbz's husband, Anissa, and Frogan. And everyone under the woke umbrella, they treat him like he Jesus, which is crazy.
Context before we get into the new stuff here. So we talked about this in my previous video about Hasan. He has had a very close relationship with the Democrat candidate for the Michigan Senate position, Abdul El-Sayed. And of course, he's a fake champagne socialist who also has supported terrorist groups like the Muslim Brotherhood. So him and Hasan are two peas in a pod. But of course, because of Hasan's very lightning rod nature, anybody associated with him is pressed to denounce him. And this candidate has completely dodged any direct denouncement of Hasan. And even other Democrat leaders like John Fetterman, he has stated that if he was a Republican, he would take out $20 million of ads just to show this campaigning with Hasan Piker, because it's that bad of a connection. But don't worry, Mr. Piker has a response to everything going on. His first real attempt was to say, "Judge me by my enemies," pointing out anyone who is denouncing El-Sayed for this connection to Hasan Piker. And of course, when he says, "Judge me by my enemies," we know who he's talking about, right, ladies and gentlemen? But on top of that, you don't have to judge him by his enemies. You can judge Hasan by...
Was it a bunch of dogs? wait. Nah, wait, hold on. Am I tripping?
Judge me by my enemies. We know who he's talking about, right, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah. This rap dude is funny. A person. They're hilarious. That was funny. Yeah, because this dude, Hasan Piker, is the real life Cruella de Vil. They enemies is 101 Dalmatians or 101 dogs. That's what Hasan Piker beefing with. That's crazy. You would have thought he would pulled up like Destiny or Asm and Gold. Nah, that was a bunch of dogs. That's funny as hell, bro.
But on top of that, you don't have to judge him by his enemies. You can judge Hasan by his own words. Here's just a small snapshot of his direct quotes. These are not in any way paraphrased. These are his direct quotes, which I think is very funny to bring these up because number 3, talking about if you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would off Rick Scott. Now, of course, that is a direct quote. And to make the record very clear, this is it. Well,
I remember that clip. Yeah, that was disgusting. Hasan be so out of pocket, bro. That's why I shouldn't be surprised anytime I hear that he said or did anything disgusting or wild. That's Hasan's like MO. That's what he do.
Play it really quick so there is no confusion here.
There's about $50 billion estimated that are lost every year in Medicaid, just in fraud alone. No.
If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would Rick Scott.
Okay, so there is no question that's exactly.
Damn near double tapped the Nasty song. Almost hit it again. Almost hit the Nasty song one more time. Crazy. Like, what is wrong with Hasan?
Exactly what he said. Now, Hasan on August 7th was saying that prominent MAGA people are trying to actively put a hit out against him, coming from the guy who's constantly making calls for political violence. And in the case of Rick Scott, a very direct one. But now Hasan is trying to gaslight his own audience and completely change his words to make it seem like he wasn't making a call to violence.
Now, of course, will liberal media turn around and make a big deal out of Laura Loomer?
You said, do it 10 times, BX. That's funny. I should. Hasan Piker does deserve the Nasty song like 20,000 times. Yeah, Hasan is nasty as hell.
Who's in and out of the White House?
He deserves all the nasty songs like 30 times.
Actively trying to hire a hitman
10 times to be wild.
Against a prominent critic of Israel, a prominent leftist? No, of course not. Why are you being hysterical about the Loomer thing? It's not that much different than the Rick Scott bit. I think you have a very different understanding of how language is used in this circumstance. Me saying if Republicans were serious about, if the Republican Party, including Mike Johnson, were serious about Medicare fraud, they would punish Rick Scott, okay? Using like that, the underlying sentiment behind that is punishing Rick Scott. It's a conversation about the Republican hypocrisy and how much they lie.
He really is the real life Brian Griffin. Guys, you don't understand his political wits. When he says stuff like that, it's very nuanced. And even if you hear certain words like the one with a K that YouTube doesn't really like, you're mishearing it because your intelligence is too low to understand the points that Hasan was trying to make. But of course, there was a resurfaced clip. I'm not even going to play it because it's just disgusting. You can see the actual direct quotes from him talking about immigrants coming into the country, and he wants them to do so they can F your sisters and daughters and then destroy the white race. Now, of course, Hasan thinks this is just a joke, but people are not laughing because it seems like this is the sort of rhetoric he's been spreading for many years. But in response to that and many other controversies he's facing right now, he rallied the troops. He called upon all of his unemployed followers to go out there and push back on the negative propaganda surrounding him in the mainstream media and amongst liberals as well. Totally pathetic.
The only thing we have on our side is a people-powered movement. Institutions, at least for the time being, will not defend us. That's the unfortunate reality. Institutions will not defend us. Prominent liberal Democrats in opposition to the Trump administration will not defend us. Federal law enforcement won't defend us. Only we can defend us. So it's important for us in this community to push back to the best of our ability. It's important for us to reach out to liberals, right? Who might fall victim to this kind of propaganda, especially
the dude that's the main person spreading propaganda out here. He loves to spread propaganda. Proudly admits to it. He out here crying about people spreading propaganda. That's crazy.
because the liberal media outlets are also leaning into it. I have unfortunately made an enemy, not just of the Republican Party, but also of a lot of very powerful people in the Democratic Party as well. And certainly their corporate benefactors, the executives, the big donors that donate to both of these parties. And I welcome their hatred, but I can't go at it alone. So at some point, we do have to harden our defenses.
This is the average Hasan viewer being activated while watching that stream. They are taking to Twitter and other spaces to fight back against the propaganda. You know, the direct quotes from Hasan himself that he has routinely spewed for years and years. Now, he called upon them to fight the mainstream media's narrative about him. So what would Hasan Piker do next? Oh, he would pay the mainstream media to make another puff piece about him. This one is from Rolling Stone, titled, "Why is Everyone Scared of Hasan Piker?" Now, of course, ain't nobody scared of Hasan. Yeah, you see how horrible those kicks are? Like, I've shown videos of me throwing kicks, and that was like my third day of training Muay Thai, and it was way better than that. Nobody is afraid of Hasan Piker. There's like no form to that. You got to get your hip in it. You got to. Yeah, I used to always be making fun of my coach. Then he'll be showing us, and then he'll be doing the movement, and it looked like a dance. It looked like you're rocking your hip. So I was like, show us one more time. Go ahead. Yo, oh man, I definitely was clowning in the gym, bro. I used to get like punishments all the time for joking. No, seriously, they made me do push-ups every joke, and then was surprised why I got so damn strong. I was in there roasting for real, bro. I said something one time when these two dudes were grappling, and I think his son was in the class too, and he was getting dog walked. And I'm like, yo, your son's watching you. And the whole class started laughing. They're like, beast, 30 push-ups. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. I was telling the truth, bro. Like, you getting your ass whooped. And your kid right here just looking at you like, when you tell him to take out the trash, he gonna tell you take out the trash. Get your ass up and compete. You better do this like this your last. My bad. I miss training martial arts. Except for Kaya is afraid of this guy. I mean, watch the lethality of this man's fighting technique right here. I think everyone is really just...
Oh my gosh, that's so disgusting.
Fighting technique right here. I think everyone...
There's no pivot. You're supposed to pivot. Like that episode of Friends when he kept screaming pivot. You're supposed to turn. It's a hip movement, bro. Right? Like, and I'm not like the best kicker in the world. My specialty was hands and grappling. But my coach enforced all of us learning everything. And we had to do pyramid drills, which pretty much is like you do a number and then you got to keep going down. So he'll be like, yo, start off with 10. I got to do 10 kicks with the other leg, 9 kicks, 8 kicks. And you do it and work your way down, and it builds the muscle in your hip.
Is really just shaking at the knees, afraid.
It's like you watch the YouTube video or something
of this guy. But remember, Rolling Stone is the same publishing department that produced this, literally glorifying a terrorist. So I guess, again, peas in a pod when they're making a puff piece about Hasan Piker. Now, they had the nerve to post about this on social media, and they're getting absolutely destroyed, and rightfully so. And here's some of the responses. LOL, right-wingers are scared of Hasan Piker. Literally all of my mutuals. And that is that infamous Sam Hyde quotes. And don't show this to Hasan. He might get very nervous. The guy who always wants to punch the Nazis has been challenged by a guy he called a Nazi to a fight. And he immediately ran away and said he doesn't want to platform someone like that. But with the Rolling Stone article, all you got to do is play the classic, the 20-minute compilation of Hasan violating Twitch's TOS, many of which contain threats against sitting U.S. officials, enemies, what have you. And we're not even getting into the terrorist glazing, the very weird comments about R-wording, especially when it comes to October 7th. Just heinous stuff. But this article has so many gems in it, unintentionally, of course, where Hasan Piker's mom, who, by the way, is a landlord. Remember the clip about Hasan wanting the streets to run red with the blood of capitalists and landlords and stuff like that? Yeah, a little weird. There must be a complex there, I guess.
The hell is wrong with being a landlord? If I could get enough success and be able to get some property, I don't think there's nothing wrong with me being a landlord. Like, people gonna be mad? Everything supposed to be free? Then why people ain't living in your mansion, Hasan? Open your mansion up. There should be thousands of homeless people just walking through your door, opening your fridge, trying on your clothes. They got your robe on and whatnot, walking around. You should just be okay with that, but you're not. So you're capping. Yeah, I don't understand what the whole is hating landlord thing.
But she said this, I'm not in love with China like he is. Yeah, not even his own mother can support the disgusting bootlicking of that communist regime. That is a...
I'm not sure I've seen. He was kicking like he was in the Rockettes. My man was...
a critical hit, ladies and gentlemen. But the other thing to come out of this article is the photos. I mean, he is absolutely stunning, as they say. Hasan Piker stuns for Rolling Stone. The jokes just write themselves. Hasan Piker stuns his helpless dog. But we're not done. We have this shot from his $3 million mansion in LA, where he is like, what is this supposed to even be? It just looks absolutely goofy. But people are defending this. When people say the loudest socialists always seem to be living the most comfortable capitalist lives ever. This person says, this pool is tiny. Well, first of all, it's so his head can look normal sized, this user says. But it reminds me of the South Park bit. Remember when they were shaming people for downloading music illegally, and they're like, oh, well, look at all these celebrities. They have to downsize their private jets now because of people like you. That's exactly what's happening here. But in a classic move, Hasan Piker decided to start begging people for Twitch Prime subscriptions. He is struggling, ladies and gentlemen. He needs all the help he can get. And also keep in mind, I know it's like everything has a second layer to it. Twitch is on the boycott list for those same boycotts all of his sycophants, all of his orbiters and his fans have all supported because they believe it's funding Israel. And he just continues to stream on Twitch and beg for Twitch Prime subs. Just something I wanted to mention. But in defense of everything going on with this article, Hasan did the meme. He said, I'm white. Yeah. So anybody pointing out his quote about destroying the white race, he's not guilty because he's white. Now, I had a hard time finding the original compilation of him flip-flopping like a racial comedian.
Yeah, I've heard him flip-flop a few times with that.
Constantly changing from white to brown, Turkish, whatever he would use for his verbiage. But I did find this old clip of XQC reacting to the post while it was still alive. So let's give it a listen.
No, this isn't.
White. I am white. I am Muslim, and I'm living in the West. You really hate white people, Jesus? Dude, I am white. I am white. I'm white. Because I am Muslim, I'm Turkish. I am a tall, white, heterosexual male, which puts me in a no marginalized category. Sometimes you can't be talking like that, white baby. See, this is what I mean. First of all, suck my fucking cock, okay? I'm a goddamn Muslim American who gets fucking called a terrorist every fucking day. So which one is he? There's never been a moment where I've said I'm brown. I've always said I'm white. Realized at a certain point that it's because I'm brown. It's usually incredibly racist people who switch between.
So all day, every day, he contradict himself.
Whether I'm white or whether I'm brown. That's out of context? No, it's not. It absolutely is not, dude. Realize.
Incredible stuff. Yep. He's just changing over the years. He can't really seem to find out the narrative, but this is just, it's another day. Yeah, it's just an average Monday waking up to see Hasan Piker being a hypocrite on like 50 different levels. And it doesn't matter to his sycophants. In fact, it doesn't even matter to the mainstream media, or at least some of the outlets that are propping this guy up. If there's anything to be scared of when it comes to Hasan, it's the fact that the mainstream media is white knighting this guy, that they're picking someone as radical as him to be their poster child. That's something to be scared of. That is a more general fear, that's where the mainstream media and so many outlets are going, that they're propping up this guy of all people.
Yeah, Hasan Piker is nasty as hell. He's a hypocrite. He flip-flops all day, every day. But that's just my opinion. Tell me what yours is down in the comment section. Hit the like button and the hype button as well. And subscribe if you haven't already. And watch more videos. Knowing me, I drop a bunch. And check out my live streams. I'm trying to do YouTube and Kick at the same time. So follow both if you can.